Hey everyone, welcome to Damai Scaling YouTube channel. I'm your host Eddie Wang, and today's video is going to be a little bit different because we are going to aim this video to those people that were unfortunate enough to start Tekken just now, just recently, and they were directed to this channel instead, and they found like a bunch of 4 years worth of tech with Jin per se, and then they went back into Discord and say, man, that my scaling is way too advanced, I need something more simplified. So they were redirected to that Blasted Salamis video, and this video will also going to be for every single one of you that is a subscriber, and after 4 years worth of tech you feel that you hit a stale with Jin, you think that Jin sucks, and you think that you haven't really progressed as much. So we are going to delete everything in the channel, and with this video we are going to give you a foundation of, or a tutorial in fundamentals with Jin or fundamental Tekken, because seems to be that this is what people lacks, and Jin isn't exactly a character that is recommended to start Tekken with because he tends to be a little bit difficult. So what I'm going to do today is show you the foundations for having like a really good Jin Kazama in Tekken, so you can start to lab all the other 4 years worth of tech in this channel, the That Blasted Salamis video, and everything else that you find on the internet. So for that, understand the following: Jin is not here to play Tekken for you. This is the first thing that you should learn. You are trying to learn Tekken and you decided to pick Jin. Unfortunately, Jin is not a character that is recommended to play Tekken, so he's not going to play Tekken for you because he is a Tekken translator instead. He is the character that you pick to show your Tekken knowledge instead of being the character that you pick to play Tekken. If I made myself some sense with this, what I'm trying to explain you here is that if you know nothing about Tekken, Jin is the worst character that you should pick. But if you play Tekken for years, then this is a character that is going to display your beauty, and you can see some clearly examples of this on players like me, which he understands Tekken pretty well, so the translation with Jin is something that is always beautiful to see, and you will also see this on Shikurin. So without further ado, let's start with the most basic of basics. So number one topic: if you are new to Jin, or if you are old and you still suck, be sure to know about movement. Tekken is a game with 3D movement, so you have to learn how to move. Korean backdash is a very important thing to learn if you are trying to go beyond simple Tekken. You are trying to play competitive Tekken, then this type of movement is one of the hardest things in the game, but it's indeed something that is worth learning. What not many people tell you is that Jin movement is very stiff. He is not one of the greatest characters when it comes down to backdashing. His backdash is terrible, his sidestep are average, but Jin has a parry, and this parry makes up for his lackluster sidesteps and backdash. So anything that you can, or that you can't really sidestep while other characters can, Jin can simply just press 2 buttons and avoid, and sometimes he even gets a launcher while other characters have to hold certain moves. So this is really important to Jin. So learn how to move, because it's very important. If you learn how to move, there are quite a few tutorials on how to Korean backdash, but the idea is you do a back, you hold back, then you do a down back, then you press back, down back, press back, down back, press back. So this movement is going to cancel your backdash, and then you're gonna start to do this like really fast. per se, but Jin is not going to go at the same speed like he goes with the other characters because his movement is kind of stiff. So topic number 2, you do not neglect your punish. Punish is everything, and Jin, for 80% of what you are going to do in the game, 80% of that is going to be punishment. So any move that is unsafe and you should know how to punish it, learn how to punish it, because this character is going to take the most from his punish. He has a lot of good punishment from 10 frames to 15 frames. He is insane. He has 1-2, this is 10 frames, 2-1, 10 frames, 2-4, 10 frames, that leads to a knockdown. And these 3 moves have a different purpose. This is just for really quick because of the reach, and it's +3. It doesn't add much, but at +3 you can still check with forward 3, or you can bait by backdashing away of people that are trying to retaliate. You can also sidewalk. As I said, Tekken is a 3D movement, so sidewalking, it's really important in these situations. So 2-1 is going to be a little bit better, but the reach of standing 2 is shorter than standing 1. But 2-1 is going to be +6, and 6 frames of advantage is Jin's key frame trap move, because at +6 he gets to apply 50-50 mix-ups, but we are not going to talk about 50-50 mix-ups today. This is going to be basic Jin. And then you have 2-4, and 2-4 is going to be a knockdown move that gives you okay positions. While the position isn't really great, if you try like 4-4-3, CD4, wave dash into all that stuff, is a little bit harder to connect against any character in the game, against any people, because Jin Oki in Tekken 7 sucks. But what you can do for the most part is just land a down 4, and then your opponent is going to pick up and stand on its own. If they are not standing when you do a 2-4, then you can start doing down 2s, and that is going to add up to the damage. So instead of you just doing 29, now you're going to do 48, and 48 is a lot. If you do this twice, then you already have 100 and whatever damage with just 2-4 into down 2, 2-4 into down 2 twice. Then let's say you have a 13 frame down 4-1-4. This is a very good mid punishment, 13 frames. So not only is good for punishment, but the 13 frame mid on down 4-1 is good to check people that are always ducking or committing to ducks, because you are going to force that with another move that we are going to see next. But down 4-1 is going to be a move to check people that are committing to ducks, trying to duck everything that you do. So this move is going to be good to check those people, and if you believe that you are on the money, then you can counter hit confirm this move when you see they pressing a button, or even better, you just do, and if you see they committing to a duck, then you let it slide. Just know that the high is a risk that you are going to take, so do not do this when they block. Just do down 4-1 and then sidewalk, because most people tend to duck or try to duck the high. So just doing down 4-1 alone is good. So down 4-1 into 4-4, or down 4-1 into down 4 are good enough to force people to duck for longer periods of time. So the move I say that is going to force them to commit to ducks is going to be down 4, and down 4 is a 16 frame load that is unreactable. It's very fast, and you can do this while doing offense with Jin. So it's a good move to start poking out people, chipping them away little by little, even against high level players. Note that these lows in Tekken are taking a risk, so this move is going to be -12, like the majority of the lows in the game. So it can be punished with a while standing 4. While the damage is insignificant, the advantage it gives is 8 frames. So, but you don't lose much by doing that. It's much better than doing a down back 4 sometimes, because down back 4 is -13, so it's worse. and CD4 is going to be even worse. So avoid using this move, because this move is a big risk, but sometimes you're gonna have to take those risks. But we are here to talk about basic Jin, so let's not deviate from the topic at hand. So at 14 frames, Jin has 4-1 plus 2, 38 damage. You land 2 of this, and then Jin is going to get a lot of damage, and you can do this in different ways. You can also mix at 14 by landing 3-1 is not duckable on punish, so you get 3-1 into Zen, 50-50 mix-ups, and then you can indeed go for a low, for a CD. You can really just 3-1 Zen into 1-2, which does 61 damage alone. Very good, is easily a damaging combo. And of course, if you land a hell sweep after, you get like even more, right? Because this is going to be it's going to be 75. So this one into the mix of CD4 is going to be good, but you can also do just really the 3-1 Zen 1-2 or Zen 1-3 if you prefer to stay safe and they are not really fuzzy guarding the ducks. So at 15 frames is where launching begins in this game, and anything that is 15 frames you can always hop kick and launch for like easy punishes. And Jin has another move which is the Tekken kicks, which does a lot more damage, and you can use that to do like some really high level damage. And this is just punishing. I'm not going to go over like forward 4 80 frames you can see CS into 1 plus 2 or Zen 1 plus 2 at 22 and stuff like that. No. So for punishing game from 10 to 15 standing, this is good with Jin. And for crouching, he has an 11 frame while standing 4. He has 13 frame 1-2 while standing 1-2, which doesn't seem much, but this stacks. So if you land, like for example, let's say Hachi is still ducking there, you do this, you already did a lot of damage. And if they are not ducking, then you land 2 of this, then you get 74 damage. So a practical example of how important this is if Ayashi does this move, this is a 13 frame punishment, and you can always do this whenever he does and start to stack up the damage to the point that Ayashi will stop using down forward 1-2. Of course, if they are being obvious with it, as I said, Jin can press just 2 buttons and launch people that are trying to force something that shouldn't be forced against Jin. So at 14 frames he has a while standing 2. This is a very strong move, and you can even duck mid screen, wait for people to whiff stuff, and then just really launch them like that high. And the easiest combo that you can do from this is of course a delayed hop kick. This is what it works for me, but at high levels you can even do electrics. You can even do electrics and do even more damage, but these days you can really just do this and you get even more than what you would get from an electric in general. So this comes down to the punishment, so do not neglect your punish. Jin punishing is extremely important, movement is extremely important, and poking is indeed what this character is about. So down for 1 is a very good poke, but you can also add to this poke by adding down back 4, which is going to be chunk, but some characters can launch down back 4, so I recommend to use down 4 more. And then you have of course the forward 4, which is Jin's main poke, and you will use this move a lot to keep your distance against people. Like it's something that Jin has, not something to actually abuse because this is very linear, but it's a move that is going to be your first technical move in the game. There is also Skarlet 4, but this is easily the foundation of Jin. Of course, on learning combos, but the three main things that you should be learned is how to move, how to poke, and how to punish. Or how to punish is second, then how to poke, and you poke with 4-4, with down 4-1, with 2-1, 1-2, and down 4. These are your pokes, and you can play Tekken Jin with just this. This is going to be base, and then you can add whatever it is that you find on the internet. If you learned about wave dash mix-ups, then you can start adding up. When you do like a 2-1, then you can wave dash mix-up. When you wave a move, instead of punishing with 2-4, which is much easier and will always get you a punish, then you can start getting bigger rewards if you just punish with electrics. And electrics are going to be something that you are going to learn over time in order to elevate your Jin to technical levels. So I'm going to pin this video in the channel so that every single one that comes and is new to Jin is going to see this video instead. So be sure to support this video, hit your like, subscribe, and leave the notification bells. And if you are new, just don't bother, browse around the channel. I'm pretty sure you are going to find something, at least one tech that is going to be useful, and keep adding to your repertoire whenever you need it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys again in a new future.